Today I sold Altria Group, ticker symbol MO. I decided to take profits in it, and in this video I want to share why I bought it, why I sold it, and how all that reflects my strategy with dividend stocks. And if you're new to this channel, hi, my name is Alex. I'm a retail investor and I'm currently focusing on a dividend strategy where I buy dividend stocks when I think they have some kind of an upside, and I sell them once this upside has materialized, once I think they have no more current upside, and the Altria will be a very good example of it. I feel like I exactly implemented my strategy with my buy and with my sell, and I want to show it and show my numbers also in this video. So Altria Group, this is the fast graph graph. We can see it has been growing earnings for many years, and it has very stable growth in earnings, and it's most of its metrics. But the story with Altria Group is that it is a tobacco company, and tobacco is a kind of a declining industry. There are less and less people who smoke in Western countries, at least. So it does face a lot of long-term headwinds, and it's kind of rowing against the current, where its a sector, its industry is declining, and Altria is managing to grow its earnings still because mostly due to share buybacks. It is trying to enter new fields like vaping. It had very unsuccessful acquisition of Juul, and here we see this complete failure, and now it has some lawsuit issues with it also, and now it is trying again to compete in the vaping industry, but overall it is a company that is facing a lot of issues, and again, most of them are long term, and for this reason this is not a company I personally prefer to hold for the long term. And I actually once planned already a video, and I never recorded it, of why don't I hold those companies for long term. And I think Altria, I might do that separately another day in another video, but overall Altria is a very good example where currently everything is okay with it, and it is growing, and even if we look at all the other metrics, we will see this growth in cash flow, and it's doing fine, but it is a very mature business, which more than sudden growth, it is more probable that it will encounter sudden decline, and I don't want to be there when it happens. So overall, if we look at this graph like this, we see that the normal PE multiple, fast graph is giving it a 15 normal PE, but it is historically for all this long period of time has been trading at around the PE of 14. But that was a long time ago. And if we shorten the horizon to from this period, where we see that valuations are really suffered, and all the problems with Juul began, all the headwinds that the company is facing, we see that the company was during this time trading more around very nicely, by the way, very consistently around the PE of 9.7. And for me, when I bought it somewhere here, I think. Yeah, somewhere here. Actually, don't remember. I was down on it. Maybe I didn't notice. And at that point, I felt that there is some kind of an upside for it, because it will trade down and up around this line. I think that if we look at cash flow, it is even more obvious. That it's about the same. Where here we see that it was trading below the blue line, and those are the points to sell here. So right now we're above that blue line, and I fear, of course I don't know where the stock price will go, and it could suddenly fall, and it can continue on rising because it has been rising lately. But currently, if the trend continues as it has for the last 5 years, this is probably a good point to sell. I'm not confident holding it at this valuation as I was at this valuation, and therefore I sold it today. It might still go higher, and then probably go back, revert to this blue line, and when it gets again below the blue line, depends why, and if there are no severe bad news for the company, I will enter again. And in the meantime, I collected this very high dividend Again, it is tempting Altria with its high dividend, but there is a reason the dividend is so high, because the market already knows what the risks, the serious risks are with this company, and then therefore gives it very low valuations and is willing to hold it only for this very high reward of a dividend, a high dividend yield. So yeah, so let's see a little bit my numbers when I sold, when I bought, when I sold, which is today, and my profits on it. So here are my numbers. So I held 352 shares of Altria, which I bought on June 21st, and I held it for 154 days. I bought it for $45.20, so yes, around here. And I sold it today for the price of $56.70 for a gain of 25%, which, if annualized, is 71%. Again, just a number. I do not claim and I do not feel that I'm making 71% in the market. Of course not. It's just one like trade. I will begin to track my performance soon in the next few weeks, and then I will see what will be the overall returns on my whole portfolio. But yes, but this particular investment, more like a trade, yielded 71% annualized, and my gain on it was $4,000, which after taxes, which only part of it is tax because part of it was in a tax exempt account, is $3,500, and I don't necessarily pay those taxes because I do have some losses in my growth stocks, which once I realize I have the tax shield, the tax benefit, but just to show my profits even after taxes, because I'm sure one of the arguments against this strategy would be that you're paying a lot of taxes on your constant buys and sells. So I think it's smart to also look at it after taxes and take that into account. So while I was holding Altria, there was once dividend was paid. If we look at the dividend history, we can see that I just missed by a week the dividend when I bought the ex-dividend date, which is okay. I bought it a week after that, so I missed this dividend, but I did get this dividend where I was already a shareholder on that date of $1.02. So for 352 shares, the dividend, that adds another $359 to my gains. I reduced all the tax on this one. So this is my whole gain before taxes. This is my whole gain if I would pay the full taxes on this investment. So on a whole investment of $15,910, my gain is $4,407, which is a gain of 27.7% clean, not annualized, for a holding period of, oh, why is it different? Oh, because I updated the date. I eventually sold it today. For a holding period of 154 days. This is an annualized return of 78%. Again, I'm not expecting to get those returns on my whole portfolio, but just on this one. So yeah, so I feel I wouldn't feel confident to continue to hold in it. My goal is that with this strategy, I would be able to hold the high quality dividend stocks. It is considered one of the most beloved dividend stocks, both because of the high yield, but also because of it. There is a lot of consistency in it, obviously. I mean, there is a lot to love here. So my hopes are to hold those companies, but to boost my returns a little bit and to like make them even more with an income characteristic when I buy and sell on those swings, and I get this, not only the long-term trend which is underlying in my portfolio, also the long-term growth trend of like 3%, 5%, 7% of those companies, but I also get this boost from moving from the a little bit overvalued companies to the little bit undervalued companies, and thus boosting my yield also, because the cheaper you buy, the higher your yield, and if you hold expensive dividend stocks, your yield is getting lower. and to gain once in a while to get this extra income, which I kind of view it like that, for this rotation from a more expensive to a cheaper dividend stock. And I also, while they're still trading at my lower valuations, I'm trying to sell put options because those are very safe and predictable companies. A lot of the times, I don't want to say usually, but very often, the premiums are so low, there's nothing really to do with it. So I wasn't really successful in selling a lot of put options, but I did sell a few. When I get to it, one of those days I will do a video where I update on the puts I am selling this month or this quarter. If you're interested in see that, let me know and I will maybe precipitate that video. So yeah, so that's overall, just wanted to share it. So now I'm not holding Altria anymore. So I was sitting on a little bit less cash than my target, but then again, obviously this target that is very flexible. So now I have a little bit more cash, so I can buy a few more stocks, and I have a few very interesting actually target stocks, which I'm gonna check out and research in the next week or 2 weeks. And if I will be buying any of them, I will of course make a video about it and let you know. So stay tuned, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.